I have people call me, and I'm sure you do too, and they'll say something to the following. I just want a reasonable rate of return, Stan, the annuity man, America's annuity agent, something like 7 to 9% annually. And I go, you know what? You find me the person that gets you 7 to 9% annually, year after year after year, and I will show you a statue of themselves right beside the bull on Wall Street. I mean, but don't you run into that, the level of expectations of return, and especially in a bull market like this, they're out of whack, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it's total misinformation. But anyhow, these two actuarial firms came up with essentially the pension plans projected roughly 7 to 7.5% to remain buoyant.
Okay.
But what they really got was essentially about 5.6, which were like the 30-year Treasury rate. So
right.
So my point is that no one, and now, so when you see what 30-year Treasuries are now, what are they? I don't know, are they 2.3, right?
Yeah, at the time of this taping, yeah, they're low.
So
they're just.
I hate to say it, that if you know, and these guys have, we got large numbers behind it. We're talking 4 trillion in assets. We're not talking about teeny little pools. We're talking about huge pools, and this is what they got in return. So my point is, if massive, you're in the state of Florida, so if a massive pension plan like Florida, which is one of the biggest, or CalPERS, which is in California. Mm-hmm. Or New York, or whatever, if they can't get these rates of returns, okay, with all their assets and all their masters of the universe, how is the little retail investor going to get it?
You're throwing darts and you're hoping. And as I tell people all the time, if you can go ahead and throw darts and hope all you want, just have the income guarantee in place. Okay. Tell me your thoughts about the archaic 4% rule. And for the listeners and viewers out there, what the 4% rule is you have your investments, right? You have your investments all in stocks. And Mr. Jones and Mrs. Jones, we're going to just peel off the gains, 4% of the gains every year, and then we can just keep investing. That dog will not hunt, as they say in the South, anymore. But that dog is being taken for the walk with clients every single day. What's your opinion on the 4% rule, Mr. Dyke?
It's awful. You know, it's awful, because if you really want to look at the 4% rule, the Dutch, they run the best pensions in the world, Stan, and they run at their assumed rate of return is 3.5%. So this whole 4%.
You're talking about rational. That's rational, right?
So yeah, there's so much misinformation. I guess there's other shorter words I could say what I really think about it, but we just don't know. I mean, and so this 4%, I don't know how that come about. It's been around for like decades, hasn't it?
It's been around so long. It's been around as long as I've been in the business. I've been in the business, a long time, decades, multiple decades. So it's crazy.
Yeah, so there's so much misinformation about in the financial world. Things like 4% withdrawal rate. Like, who came up with that? Or things like dollar cost averaging, which is just mental. I don't know. It's just.
How about the Monte Carlo system? How about the Monte Carlo? That's been around. And if people know what that is, that's not let's go down to Monte Carlo and play the slots or whatever, and hang out with the rich people. Monte Carlo is a system that's used in the retirement planning world it's been decades to kind of project where things are going to go. That's been around a long time, Barry. I mean, a long time.
Yeah, and it's really misinformation. I know there's something, if you hear something long enough over and over again, a lie turns to the truth. There's something in psychology or whatever.
George Costanza from Seinfeld says, if you believe it's the truth, then it's not a lie. Which explains a lot of the annuity index annuity salespeople out there. They believe it. They're like, market upside with no downside, market participation with no. And I always tell people, listen, if there was such a product, the Fed would just buy that. Let's put on our thinking caps. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to.
Speaking of which, but the funny thing which I stumbled into was that the Federal Reserve itself had 75% of its own 401k of 4.5 billion in fixed annuities. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Hello.
So this is the whole thing is that, and it's like, I'm doing some executives, right? They're retiring right now. And and people it's a very large company. I can't remember. I can't disclose obviously, but I know the HR guy who's head of the retirement plan. Very very bright guy, a very smart guy. And I said, I said, I'll just say his name is Cliff. I said, Cliff, why don't you guys? Because we have these executive retirement plans. I said, Cliff, why don't you just make your life easier? Buy a 10-year SPIA. Oh, can't do that.
Nah, we don't want to lock our money up. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't want the liability. But if you leave me $1 million in the market, it's so goofy.
Hey, Stan the Annuity Man here. Did you like that little taste of my podcast, Fun with Annuities? Hey, if you want to see the full version, click the link and watch the whole darn thing. Remember, Fun with Annuities. Live in the reality, not the dream.